Good morning, everybody, from the Homestead here, Hawkins Farm and Harvest. I just wanted to make a little video today as I'm doing my Friday harvest prior to our Saturday farm stand and pickup of the harvest bundles. So it's a busy morning. We try to get out there early and harvest our lettuce and whatever other seasonal vegetables we have so that things don't get bitter and burnt by the sun. Luckily this morning we had a nice overcast day and a lot of rain the past 2 days, so it's been nice working out there this morning. So I'm getting everything going here in the wash and pack. This is our second week of doing the harvest bundles, and we had 10 orders, which I'm really happy about, and honestly is a kind of a good starting position for us because I'm testing the waters on what produce I have available. Obviously we're growing a lot of food, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping everything sustainable, starting small with, making sure I have salad mix every week, and I'm practicing with succession planning to make sure everything's going in and filling those beds, which is all a very time-consuming thing, especially when the majority of the work is being done by myself, and my wife is busy with the baby, and we're also managing the baby too. So we've got our hands full. So I'm excited. I've got the wash and pack going. It's been a pretty smooth system. I've got my wash bin here, like I've shown you, my Panda spinner, and then I've got everything over here on the drying rack. This is my second batch here of lettuce this morning, letting everything dry with the 2 box fans above. That's just about ready to bag up, and then we label as well. And then everything will store in the commercial fridge here. We've got some pickled goods going out this weekend, a lot of lettuce, and then I'll harvest the bok choy this morning. So I try to do everything obviously as close as possible to harvest day, or to sale day. I was doing Saturday last weekend, but it's just a little hectic with getting the farm stand set up and making sure I have enough time to get everything prepped. So what I've decided to do is Friday mornings harvest, and then the last minute stuff that goes into the box or the bundle, I'll probably do like celery the morning of, cilantro, some of the herbs and spices and things like that I'll do last minute, just to make sure all that stays fresh. But then it's eggs, bread, and a combination of produce. And it's been a really good, we've had a good response from the community on those harvest bundles. So I'm excited to keep those going and see how the 10 this week goes. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys kind of how that's working. I'll take you out to the field and just show you what we're harvesting and how we're doing that. But I'm gonna go ahead and bag some of this up. So it's been a little bit of practice here in the beginning, knowing how much to harvest when I go out to the field. I actually did pretty good today on guessing what we needed. And then I'm doing 4-ounce bags of the salad mix, the spring salad mix. So I'm just going back and forth between the salad rack here and my scale, and just kind of making sure we have enough. And I just go slightly over the 4 ounces, and then we'll go ahead and zip those up and slap a label on them, and those will go right into the refrigerator here so everything stays nice and fresh. And we're kind of keeping some air in that bag, right? And again, the benefit of having this drying rack is just to get rid of a lot of that moisture after it's been washed, so that your things are staying fresh and lasting as long as possible. So so it's starting to kind of flow a little bit better, and then we'll go ahead and slap our labels on. And obviously all this stuff continues to improve, but my advice, and something I've had to continuously tell myself, is that you want to just start slow, or as slow as you possibly can start, and just get used to the systems. And obviously with labels and stuff, everything can continue to improve. We'll learn from, our mistakes and what's working, not working, as far as what type of bags work best, and the flow and the setup in the wash and pack and the field and all that stuff. But starting somewhere, getting something out there. This is all stuff we made on Canva, did just Microsoft Word and simple printer labels for now, and then we'll go from there. So I'm happy to see kind of where we are with this so far, and obviously the lettuce has been really, really yummy, and all the other produce we're growing too. And then the other thing with the drying rack too, which is beneficial, is just the ability to kind of sort through things and make sure the quality's up to par. You're getting rid of any bad looking lettuce or bugs or anything that was missed when you were washing. Trying not to obviously break the lettuce up too much. You're just trying to keep everything in good condition. And then I'm picking, most of the lettuce that we're picking is hand-picked. We're on a small scale here, and I just enjoy mornings getting out there and doing it. It's a bit slower for sure, but I'm able to really kind of manage the quality that way by hand-picking. And also, you're allowing most of the lettuce that we grow is continuing to push up for the time being until it bolts or goes to seed. So I'm able to go out and continuously pick from a lot of those different heads, so that my lettuce is lasting longer and I'm taking full advantage of what we have. And then I'm also packing more bags than I think necessary, just to have some for the farm stand and for us for the week, because we love kind of just bringing these bags in. Even with the labels, kind of fun. Get to see what we've grown, and it's about as fresh as it can get. And then just to talk a little bit here while I'm plugging away and working, we've started the wash and pack in the garage, just because it's here. We had to do a little bit of improvement on the electrical work, just to make sure we had enough coverage in here, enough outlets and circuits for the refrigerator and the freezer, and then obviously my workspace. But it was much more affordable than building another unit or bringing in a shed or anything like that at this point, obviously just to see how everything's going. So this was a great way to get started. The only thing that'll be a test, and that's kind of why I work in the mornings, is that the garage does get hot in the afternoon, very hot, or very cold in the wintertime. So we're going to test all that out and see how far this can get us working here in the garage. And then we'll obviously discuss another situation if things continue to expand. But right now it's just me. My wife is helping when she can help, and it keeps me plenty busy. But once we get to a point where we feel like maybe we can bring on some part-time workers or whatnot, or some friends to help in the field, then we'll see where we go. But starting in the garage was a great way to just get things rolling and get started. Okay, so now we're gonna make our way out to the field. I gotta do the bok choy and see what we're working with. And then we will head back and get that washed and dried. And then I'll kind of see what else we're sorting through here. So it's a beautiful morning on the homestead. We're gonna check out this bok choy, and some of it has some slug damage, different bugs that are starting to come in, pests. I'm happy to see all the birds here in the beds that are helping to clear some of those bugs, but there is some damage that I gotta kind of monitor, so we're gonna pick through what we have here. But I'll show you guys what we're working with lettuce-wise, and everything's looking really good this morning. But here's a lot of the lettuce that we've picked from, and again, there's still plenty to go. The other benefit to picking leaves from these bigger heads is that you kind of let some of that air out and have continued space for growth. So that'll be harvestable for another couple weeks, ideally before everything goes to seed. It is getting hot here quickly, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then also harvest some of the peas here, and we'll do a combination of different things that we have available, but we still have a lot of sweet peas here, so we'll get those harvested, and a lot of stuff on the way. Also, while I have you here, I went ahead and set up our tomato trellis all the way down. This was a nice purchase, kind of like a plastic reusable type fencing that I can then attach to some T-posts and trellis my outdoor tomatoes on. Inside the greenhouse, I'm using a string system to get those run up. But these are looking really good out here. They're starting to flower. I'm picking off any of the suckers, and then obviously the lower branches that need to be picked. We have our peppers and basil coming up as well. So I'm trying to keep everything breathing and moving in there. And then the one thing about the greenhouse right now that's been a struggle is I do have a shade cloth that's kind of in the center, just rolled up on the top. But it is actually, though it cools the greenhouse a little bit, and I only roll it down in the hot summer, it's kind of not as allowing as much sunlight in as I would have liked. So I need to decide if I need to roll that up even further. Oh, you can kind of see it there in the background, or just get rid of it altogether, because I think what's happening is the high noon sun is not reaching in, so there's probably a 2 or 3 hour span of sun that's kind of shaded. It's causing things to just stretch a little bit more than I would like. So that's something I got to kind of monitor for the greenhouse stuff. Eventually, like I said, a high tunnel on the backside, or even a caterpillar tunnel on the backside of that greenhouse would be nice for a a good stretch to grow summer tomatoes, cucumbers, things like that under cover that's on a drip system. So we'll see if we get there, but for now we're kind of working with this. So let's go see what we have with the bok choy. Okay, I'm gonna start sorting through some of this bok choy, kind of picking around what, and this is baby bok choy. I've kind of packed it pretty tightly together. So it didn't have as much room to grow as maybe I would have liked, but it still came out really pretty, and there's some good ones here. Obviously we can pick off, like, you know, that leaf there that's looking kind of yellow, get rid of that out of the bed. Normally I do like a chop and drop type thing, but since everything's so wet and I'm trying to keep things looking good and clean, and we want to avoid slugs, I'm going to get rid of some of this added organic material so that we don't encourage more slugs to the garden. So like I said, some of this is going to seed. Even this one's getting just about ready to go to seed. So I'm going to harvest these and we'll try to make use of those, get them over to the wash bin, get them cleaned up. And yeah, quite a few of these are actually just about to go to seed, pushing up a flower there. So we're going to get these taken care of, break off those extra leaves there. Those will go to the compost pile. And what I've been doing is about 3 per bag for each person, depending on the size, sometimes 3 or 4. And then we've been eating this close to daily too. It's been really yummy to have. It's done pretty well here. Now in the summer heat, I don't think it will is worth planting again. So, and even some of this, the slug damage, I gotta kind of decide how I want to handle that. We might not sell all of these, so we'll just see how they do. But I'm going to go ahead and harvest these, sort through what we have, and then get up there and wash them and get them bagged. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll do the celery and the cilantro, and we have the snow peas. I'll probably pick those today and then get those in the refrigerator so everything stays nice and fresh. Another thing I'll kind of chat with you about while I'm sitting here picking through these is, you know, this being kind of a financially viable career path, I'm kind of learning and studying from a lot of YouTubers and trying to make sense of how to, you know, turn this into a financially sustainable thing. I'm very blessed and lucky to have my businesses which supply the income for the family and allow me to kind of have a lot more free time to do this. I've been very grateful to work and live as an entrepreneur and have successful businesses that allow me to do this. But part of that's been, you know, I've really enjoyed getting outside and getting back to this and offering produce to our community and my family. So I'm spending a lot more time doing this now and trying to find ways to shuffle some of the income over this way. It's very difficult. It's very time consuming. It's a very different animal. And here's some, that's the culprit right there. Trying to eat the leaves here. So some of these are just gonna have to go. But that's okay, it's time anyway. So, you know, basically I did some math, and with the boxes that I'm offering right now, not including farm stand purchases and whatnot, but basically I would need about 30 weekly folks to add up to about $500 a week. Here's another culprit there, a slug. So that's why we're trying to keep everything tidy and neat and get some more airflow in here too. I'll kind of show you. You know, things are pretty tightly packed, so it's good to have some airflow in there too. Let me get this back up. Yes, I have some Carhartt overalls. Never thought that would happen, but I've enjoyed having them. They're comfortable and keep me from getting too crazily dirty. So yeah, it's going to take a fair amount of folks purchasing these bundles and my time and energy to add up to a kind of a living, and even that is not really as much as we spend or use. So right now this is more of a part-time endeavor. We'll have to see what transpires. And also I'll mention too, some of these that are going to seed I might actually leave here and allow to go to seed, and maybe try to collect some of that seed. I think there's a benefit in collecting as much seed as you possibly can collect, but also I think that planting that seed that you've already kind of established on your property and your growing zone and your climate will ultimately probably do better the next year and the next year after that, as it's getting used to and acclimated to your area. Now, caveat to that is picking the best seed from your crop that you can, obviously the healthiest, strongest plants, but then also hoping that you don't have any crossover from other plants or species of that plant. So you're trying to keep the quality up. So that'll be a test, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to attempt that with some of this stuff. And like the fava beans, I kept every single fava bean this year from probably 6 or 9 plants. And we'll just dry all those and plant them next year to have, 10 times the amount. And then we can talk about, eating those or selling those or doing something a little more fun with them. But I put all those down in the cellar to dry and get those prepped for next year. Something else I'll probably try to be more aware of for future succession plantings of these beds is using onions, chives, smelly, harvestable plants more frequently to try to help with some of the pest pressure. I think that onions are something that you can really add just about anywhere in between your plants for tight cropping, but also as a way to mitigate some pests. So I'm going to try to do that with some of the future leafy green beds, just to see how that works. So we've got a good little collection here of the bok choy, and like I said, I do 3 or 4 per bag, and these will go into both the farm stand and the bins. So, little nice baby bok choy. These taste really great, just steamed, not to the point of sogginess, but just till they're cooked and crispy. And my wife and I usually just do rice and soy sauce, and it's a great little mix. So really nice baby bok choy. I'm really happy with those. I'll probably grow them again next year. I didn't have as much success with the red version. I actually plucked most of that already. It was kind of going to seed very quickly, which I've heard the red varieties do for a lot of things. But in addition to that, it didn't really grow to the size I would like. And it was very sporadic. So I've kind of harvested most of that. We ate some of it. And I'm really happy here with the wildflower mix that we added around this little farm basin. It's come up really well. I've kind of let that grow, and I mow a path around the outside to keep it all kept, but a lot of different blooms in there, and one for every season, really. I think I mentioned that before, but I'm really happy to see that mix coming up here this May. So I've gone ahead and harvested as many sweet peas as I could get. Of course, I'll show a better clip of that, but I have those, and now we're gonna go over and get some of the Swiss chard and get that bundled up for tomorrow, and then we'll probably stop there for today. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'll get the celery, any of the mint, rosemary, oregano, some of those fresh herbs for tomorrow. And then, what was I missing? Cilantro. So I'll get all that tomorrow and get it added to the bundles. But excited to pass off those bundles tomorrow, open the farm stand, and we'll see how the weekend goes. Okay, just getting ready to wrap up for today. I went ahead and drained the wash tank bubbler, so that just drains out with a little PVC right elbow out to the property, goes right down in the daylily garden, so that'll be nice. And then I went ahead and harvested some of the Swiss chard, rainbow chard that we had. So tried to pick the best quality, largest leaves there, get those washed. And then also we filled 3 more pints, or about 6 ounces each, of the snow peas. So glad to have those ready to go. So we'll get all this dried, bundle up the Swiss chard with rubber bands, and I'm gonna bag the bok choy, and that'll be good for today. And then tomorrow I'll worry about the last minute things like celery and cilantro and whatnot. And then for the bubbler, we'll go ahead and get this washed with vinegar and get it cleaned out real good for the next use. and make sure everything's all clean and ready to go. But that is the wash and pack situation. And I appreciate you guys tuning in today. It's been fun to see how this all works and try to find ways to optimize this. If you have any tips, suggestions, questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. Enjoy your weekend out there, and we'll see you for the next one.